You talk a lot about how momentum is more important than motivation. Can you talk to me a little bit about what does that look like in a daily life?
So I think people overcomplicate motivation, discipline, and momentum, right? So at first, I feel like when you're first starting out and you're looking for that spark, you're looking for that magic pill, that magic, what's that advice that I can get to, start being successful? I feel like everybody looks too hard at motivation because it's something they felt before. And so they look for that spark. They're sitting there like, all right, I'm motivated. But the thing is, motivation fizzles, right? Nobody wakes up. Like you see these people that are super successful, nobody wakes up motivated 100% of the time, all the time. That's fake. Nobody does that. Nobody has motivation instilled for that long. But the thing is that's where discipline comes into play. They're doing the stuff when they don't want to do it, right? And so that's where you have your principles like, hey, I go to the gym at 4 every day. I have to do this for work. This is a non-negotiable for me. That's where discipline comes in. So I went from motivation to discipline, but then I found this thing called momentum. I didn't even know that momentum could be used in this way outside of like a ball rolling down a hill and the snowball's getting momentum, right? I figured out that when I did one little thing, it would carry to the next, and then it would carry to the next, carry to the next. So that one little, like I just talked about walking in the morning, when I had no money, there was very limited things that I could do, right? And so I wanted to wake up and I was like, you know what? I see all this advice all the time about stacking wins. Let's just see what happens. So I woke up and I would just go walk like 2 miles every day. I would walk those miles. But the thing is, I found out that when I came back, all of a sudden, I was more motivated to go to work, right? Or, I felt that urge of like, oh, wow. And so the one win leads to another win. And then all of a sudden now, you know what I mean? Or let's say even you wake up early. That win leads to a walk. Then that win leads to, all right, now I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do this. And I think one day at a time, everything starts stacking up and it becomes easier, right? So it's like you can even dial it down to that one workout that you did. I went to the gym one time. I'm a firm believer in just try something one time. Just try something, just try it again. Just try to do it consistently in a row, right? That one workout, all of a sudden you come home, but you're in a good mood. Now you want to eat better. Mm-hmm. Now it's snowballed into that. Now all of a sudden you're feeling in a good mood and there's a hard conversation that you were supposed to have. Now you have that hard conversation and now 10 easier ones open up and communicating becomes a lot easier. All of a sudden, and then I'm a firm believer of when you do what you say you're supposed to do, that's where true confidence comes from. When you're honest and you do what you say you're going to do, don't speak something into this world if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
That is, in my opinion, the two things that build a very, very confident, strong character. Because if I know I'm always being honest, no matter if it's a hard situation, a hard conversation or not, and I just tell it how it is, and hey, because I can't feel guilt. I dealt with so much guilt for 10 years that is the last thing on this planet I ever want to feel. So now by being honest and authentic, and the person I was always trying to run from, it's funny enough, is now like who I'm so proud to be is like myself. This whole time I've been avoiding who I am. Mm-hmm. But there's those two things I genuinely feel would build confidence. And I think you get those from the small wins, and the small wins stack. And then the days, the hours turn into days, and the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, it's 8 months later and you're sitting on a podcast with Jet. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Yeah, like you just really never know. And it's the momentum because like I said earlier, as I built my brain up too, now when the doors present themselves, I just jump on it. I jump into it. But it's because I'm finding opportunities because I go to the gym, I do all these things, and one success is leading to another. And now I'm networking with these people and the things are just popping up. And I just say, yes, 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 yes. Like, yeah. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And you just keep jumping through the doors. And the momentum is what's keeping me at like prime, like optimization to where I just keep jumping through the doors. And the thing is I believe in manifestation. Mm-hmm. And I think if you bring that real picture of what you're trying to do to life and just really put the work in and try to do it, the doors just keep opening. And I feel like I'm not necessarily the most religious person, but I feel like if you are doing things, this is where I feel like a lot of things change for me is when you have that deep down passion, like in your core where you're doing something for a good reason and you're really wanting to help others. I'm not necessarily the most religious guy, but I think that's when God starts putting doors in front of you. And I think, he puts them there because that's when all the opportunities start opening for me. Because I've tried to get sober in the past. I've tried to do, but, I've tried to do my own little side businesses. I've tried to do all these things, but I was always money motivated. I was never driven from passion or wanting to help others or do things in good conscience, right? It was always a very selfish state. And I feel like now that I truly deep in my core have like tried to do these things for a greater good, the doors have started presenting themselves, and now momentum has come in, and now I'm just jumping through them like hoops. Like I don't even think twice. I'm just going, I'm going. And so that's why I think the momentum, because if you stay on that track and you stay obsessed with what you're trying to do, and you stay obsessed in the gym, and you stay obsessed with everything, every walk of life you're trying to do, I genuinely feel like that is more powerful than not only discipline, but like motivation. Because motivation to me is the least important.
That's so fire! Fire, fire, fire! That's so fire, baby! That's so fire! Fire! That's so fire! Ow!